Hi there, this is Linda and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be unboxing the new Field Notes and Florals collection from Cocoa Daisy for May 2026. I'm putting together a project. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, Field Notes and Florals. This is a super, as it looks, floral and kind of a slightly vintagey collection, which is not usually my style, but I think that from the sneaks of what I've seen so far, I'm gonna like a lot of this kit. So, as always, I get the scrapbook kit and pocket card add-on, the washi trio, the stationery kit, and the classic cousin sticker kit. So I'm going to open all of these kits and go through my supplies, talk you through kind of the products and how I think I'm going to use them, and then I'll put together a project. As always, if you're only interested in seeing portions of the unboxing or just the process video, I have timestamps down in the description box below so you can jump to the portion you'd like to see. So let's do the classic cousin sticker kit first. So I already removed the plastic from this one. And for these, this kit is designed for the Hobonichi cousin, of course, based on the name, but it really works for any journal or planner. What is so great about this kit is that everything is completely flat. It's just a bunch of flat stickers. So it works really well for something like a journal where you don't want a lot of bulk. So you have a couple of sheets like this that have these rectangles that work really well for the weekly spreads in the cousin, but you can use them really anywhere. And then some labels, which I really love those. I use those all the time. There's this planner icons one, a sticker sheet. This one's probably always my favorite because it just has a collection of beautiful stickers and some word phrase strips, which are probably one of my favorite go-to embellishments. And then it's got this one with the days of the week and some icons here, and then the menu planning and this week, next week. I often don't use too many of these, but I actually think I should start using them in my everyday carry because I do my menu planning in there. And then I do use the this week sometimes for my task list in my taken out. So I don't even have a Hobonichi cousin this year, but I still use this kit because I think it's very versatile for all journals and planners. You've got some planner icons here. And then you always have an alpha and a number set with some like washi strips. And then there's one sheet that is actual washi stickers with some icons and then some washi strips. So that's a super cute one. I'm going to go ahead and put that in my tray. And then there's always a sticker. So this month it says focused and rooted, super cute. I'm going to put that in a little tray here with some of the embellishments. And then let's go ahead and do the washi trio. Okay, so the washi trio is always 3 washi tapes, obviously with the name trio, from the collection or that coordinate with the collection. Sometimes they overlap the ones I get in my kits, but usually they don't. I think they overlap with the creative kit, and then sometimes just other ones. They're usually the best ones from the collection, and I'm just obsessed with washi tapes, so I love getting these. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch them. I already did some daily journaling today, so I'm just going to add this to the bottom of my page. So this first one's kind of just like a vintage collage, which is super cute. Like I said, vintage is not always my style, but I really like this like old fonts and like prints on here. So that one's really cute. Then we have this nice green leaf pattern. I'm always looking for washi tapes that are kind of like a solid color. So I like to layer my washi in here. So like if I had opened this before, I probably would put that behind there because I feel like that would have layered really nicely with these cutouts and stickers. So I think I'm going to use that one a lot. And then this is my absolute favorite from this collection. I can already tell. Let me find the end. So this one is like a typewriter font. That is so cute. And it's a super thin one. I love that. Definitely gonna use that one a lot. Okay, let me, also I do my washi in my washi catalog, and I don't always do this on camera here, but I am gonna do it this month. I will speed it up though because I just swatched the washi tape. But essentially I like to swatch all of my washi tape in here so I know kind of where I got it and like when I got each roll and what it is. And then my plan is once I use one up, I think I'm going to probably put like a black dot or something on it, or if I like purge it from my stash. But so far I don't really use up washi rolls. They seem to last forever. At some point I really need to start trying to use some of them up though, because I do have so much washi. It is definitely a problem, but also I love it and I use it. So is it really a problem? I don't know. Okay, let's open the stationery kit. So the stationery kit is probably the kit that I recommend if you are new to Cocoa Daisy and you do a little bit of everything like me with the journaling, planning, scrapbooking. I think that the stationery kit is a good balance between price and what you get. Some of the kits are a ton of supplies at a higher price point and some are smaller with a lower price point. I think this is a good balance where you get a good sampling of the collection and then you get access to order add-ons during the subscriber period. So if you're just thinking of dipping your toes into Cocoa Daisy, I highly recommend picking up a subscription to this kit. I have gotten a lot of questions about people who are new to Cocoa Daisy. You don't have to subscribe to purchase. However, a lot of the kits sell out. So in order to get what you want, you do usually need to be a subscriber. Unfortunately, they're just in high demand, but I think that they're amazing products, which is why I'm so happy to work with them and why I do truly recommend them. Okay, this one always comes with a washi tape, so I'm going to open this one first. Okay, so you guys, if you have been around a while, you know how much I love the color purple and love purple scrapbooking supplies, which is something that is very hard to find. Purple is by far the least used color in the scrapbooking industry. And the industry has said it's because people don't want purple scrapbooking supplies. I don't know. I want them. And this is a gorgeous purple floral, but it doesn't have a lot of other colors in it. So I think it'll be great for layering and just to use in my stash. So I'm super happy to have that one. And then let me actually put it in here as well. Let's get into the rest of the kit. So there's always like a pin on here, and a lot of times I don't use these as often as I used to. You can take the back off and have it as a scrapbook embellishment, but I just like to add them onto like pouches and on the front of albums would be cute. So I'm gonna stick that one in there. Okay, one of my favorite pieces of these kits is always it comes with a notepad. So I love to use these as journaling spots on scrapbooking layouts, in Project Life, in my journal. I will add them. So sometimes like on a page, I will just put one down just to kind of break up the page a little bit. I think that would be a super cute way to kind of design a page. In fact, maybe I will do that for tomorrow. I'm just going to go ahead and stick this in here. I don't know what my page is going to be like tomorrow, but I think that's super cute. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I usually just put some rolling adhesive on the back, but I'm just going to add that there in the middle to start layering that page. But I love to use these in my scrapbooks in my journal, like I said, and you get so many of them. It's just such good value. Then you get a vellum sheet and a transparency. This transparency, that is so cute. And I love just the specialty papers, so getting those in this kit is just great. And then you get a clear sticker sheet. Again, these are great in your journal or wherever you want to use them. Super pretty florals this month. There's a 4x6 card, which is usually a postcard, but I like to put these in I treat them like any other pocket card. They fit in the 4x6 pockets, but it is like a thicker textured paper. And then let's see, you always get 3 smaller sticker sheets. So again, we have some florals, stamps, and then days of the week. I love that. I think, so I've been wanting to add days of the week, and I've been doing this in my journal this year. I'm going to use these for this week. So this is the journal I'm using this year, which is the daily planner from Sterling Ink rather than a Hobonichi Cousin. And it is an undated, which means it could be used for any year. So although I have the dates on here, it doesn't have the day of the week. So I do need to add them. So I'm going to go ahead and use this set this week and add those. I don't add them all in advance because sometimes I won't put it at the top. I'll work it into my spread, but that's going to be super cute. This month we have these large tags, and these are super fun to use in my scrapbook layouts. We've got this large sticker that is really cute, and a bow clip. I like to use these in mini albums. And then here we've got some die cuts. Let me get a tray. Okay, one thing I love about Cocoa Daisy is all of their die cuts are stickers, and these ones are vellum, so they are so great. I love the watercoloring on that flower. It's so pretty. So they are great in your journal because they are super thin. So this one has a lot of these florals. We've got some of these like vintage tags. Those are going to be great for layering. Just looking through here. I'm just feeling like kind of working on this journaling page right now. So I'm going to just do a little bit of layering on here. So you can kind of see this is just like a vellum. So cute. I love it. And then we also have these ones here that are like the stamps. That one I really love. Okay, and then we have our scrapbook kit. So the scrapbook kit comes in these really nice pouches, so you can store them in there. I store them in my tray while using them, but if I wasn't going to finish a kit and keep it together, I would probably put it back inside those pouches. And you can get just the scrapbook kit, or you can get it with the add-on, with the pocket card add-ons. You can get 12 by 12 papers. You can get the traveler's notebook. So I do the pocket card add-ons, but if you don't get the pocket cards and you just get the scrapbook kit, you're going to get this. And then the add-on is just those cards. So you always get 2 pieces of white cardstock, and then you get 6 additional pieces of cardstock that are 2 of each design, and they're double-sided, so you can kind of use each one once, or you can use one twice if you really love it and don't like the other side. Love that one. And I love that one. I think that would be really good for like sewing stories. Let's see, let's go from the bottom here. We got the stamps. Nice floral and a nice pink polka dot. Definitely those 2 are my favorites, but these are both very good basics as well. Actually, I will leave these laid out so you can see them. These scrapbook kits come with a rub-on set. I really like the way they wrote May this month and the big 5. Super cute. You always get an alpha. This month we have a nice pink puffy. There's this ribbon. So I need another tray. Got these wooden pieces. Enamel dots, I love those. I use them all the time. These puffy stickers are so cute. So Cocoa Daisy doesn't include these every month, but some months they have this like type of puffy sticker and I always love them. I just love the way that they look. Got a stamp set. Mine doesn't have it printed on here. I think most people's will be. That's because I get like an early run. So it's harder to see, but we've got like the measuring tape on here and some little borders and some little leaves. A chipboard set. So these are the nice adhesive backed ones, but they're actually pretty thin, which is great for not adding too much bulk. I still wouldn't use them in a journal because they are still chipboard, but they're not too thick. And then we have a die cut set. So just like the die cuts in the stationery kit, these are stickers, but these ones are cardstock and they're more designed for scrapbook layouts, even though I feel like they're very interchangeable and I could use these in my journal and the ones from the stationery kit in my scrapbook. These ones for sure are more conducive to a scrapbook spread. So if you are getting something for scrapbooking, the scrapbook kit is obviously the way to go. Super cute. And then we've got a washi tape. I don't know, you guys. This one is so cute. This might be my favorite. I do really, really love the typewriter Alpha, but this is the measuring tape. How cute is that? And it's just this nice gray color, almost like a grayish, honestly, which is just going to be a great layering. So I've been super into layering lately, my washi. And look at that. I know it's upside down. I rule my washi out upside down because I'm left-handed, so I want to pull it with my left hand rather than my right. Like if I was right-handed, I would go like this, and that's how washi goes, because most people are right-handed. But anyways, I just love it. That's so cute. Okay. And then I need to put it in here. Something that is weird though is it goes to 13, not 12. Wonder why. Usually measuring goes to 12. It's a foot. Okay, so now we need to just do the cards. There you go. There's a look at the Field Notes and Florals collection. So now I'm going to head over to my computer and print out some photos, and I'm going to put together a spread in my daughter's album. I'll be right back on here. If you are new here, I have been going back and documenting some of the older years in my daughter's album with these kits. So essentially what I do is I take the current month kit and I document that same month in a previous year. So I started this with the 2024 Cocoa Daisy kits, documenting 2020. The 2025 kits were used to document 2021. And now I'm working my way through 2022 using the 2026 kits. So we are on May. And what I'm doing is I'm doing one of the Design A divided page protectors, which has the 4x6 pockets, 4 3x4 pockets. And this spread is going to recap that 1 month in my daughter's 12x12 albums. If you are new to my daughter's albums, I do have a playlist about those, and it has a lot of these videos in there, but it also has a couple of introductory videos to my system and then a flip through of the completed album. So I will actually link some of those down in the description box below if you want to check out more about that. So before I get started on the spread, I just wanted to check in with her album here. So this album starts with the beginning of 2022. I might make a title page for this at some point, but that's not my priority at the moment. So I've documented through April. I also document stories in here through a variety of traditional layouts, other pocket pages, just different things. So we have, after April, I have this story about her getting her driver's permit, and then some stories from May. So in May, she went to junior prom, and I did this elaborate layout about this. So there's a lot of photos already included in here. And then in May, she also got her braces off, which I documented that here. And then I have this from the orthodontist, needs to get in here somehow. And then here we get into June. So I'm going to put my May divided page protector right here. This I'm going to need to figure something out about at some point. I also have my craft planner here where I have all of my projects that I've planned using various kits from various manufacturers. And here I have something documenting her 17th birthday, which I intend to put in here somewhere. She turned 17 also in May of 2022. So in selecting my stories and photos, I realize I already have this story told. I already have this story told. And I do plan to tell her birthday story in another spread. So I'm going to put this to the side. And then in order to figure out the stories I want to tell, this is just my notebook that I do like random, just whatever messy notes I need go in here. So I'm not like constantly using all sorts of scratch paper and sticky notes. And so for May 2022, I made a list of various stories of things that happened. Like I said, it was a busy month. There were a lot of big things going on. And some of these things were already documented. I got this list by flipping through my 2022 Project Life album. That album is focused on me and my story, but of course my daughter is a big part of my story, especially when she lived at home at this point in time. So I was able to pull out stories of things that she did from that album and then just skipped over the stories that were about me. And then here I have my page protector. So here's the photos I ended up printing. So she did a lot of track meets and wrapped up the track season. We went to this snake expo thing. So I have some stuff for that. And then I did print another photo from the prom. That was one that she did not make it in that other spread. And then a photo from Mother's Day, and then a photo from her birthday. Now this photo I might reprint again and use in that birthday layout, or I might end up documenting it with a different photo of her. But I didn't want to skip it because I haven't made that page yet, and there's always a chance that I don't ever make it. So I do want to get this photo in the album. It's also not the best photo because the lighting is bad, so I'm thinking that I will probably select a different photo when I do that other layout anyways. So I have a few, let me see, maybe I'll put this one here. And then, no, there we go. So I think I want to do my title card. So what I've been doing, these kits always come with a 4x6 with the month on it. So that's just usually my default for my title card. And then I'll fill in the rest of the gaps. And then we've got, so I need something with some journaling. So just to kind of tell some of the stories from this month. And then usually I'll do a filler card or something. So let's see what we've got here. Let me just move this out of the way, and I kind of pushed all of the cards out of my way rather than stacking them nicely. So let me just fix that. Okay, so I don't need another 4x6 card. So let me just go through the 3x4 cards and see what might work for my spread here. So like I said, I need a journaling card and then potentially a filler card. I think a journaling card, I can just tell like some bullet point list of stories. I like this one because it goes really well with that. Of course, this is a kit, so everything's gonna go really well together. And that one's a good filler. Let's see what else we've got. I like this one as a filler a lot too. And that one would be good for stories. I also really like that card. That one would be a good journaling card. I like this one as a filler too. Okay, so let me think about how I want to organize things on this page. Thinking I might want to move this over here just so I can kind of space out these filler journal cards. And I like that one. I also had these options for filler cards. Actually, I really like this one. I just like the colors. And I feel like the butterfly kind of goes with the snakes. And then I liked this one also as a journaling card. I really like the colors of this one. I'm worried it's a little small, but I think maybe if I just do some very basic bullet points, because I did tell some of those other stories and I am going to document her birthday in more detail. So I think that that would work. And then I just need to go through some of these other pieces, like some of these. Might want to put some of the chipboard on here or some of the die cuts. This would be a good way to add some other stories because that card is so small. I can use some of these die cuts to add more details. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and put you guys on a voiceover as I add my date, add my journaling, and then figure out how else I want to embellish these cards.
So the rest of the spread comes together really quickly. When I do these monthly recaps and they're just this one side rather than a full page spread, it just comes together so fast, which makes this such a doable project. For my title card, I almost always add the date on it using this alpha stamp set that I get from Amazon, and I'll link that in the description box below. And then I'm just working on adding some of my embellishments, and I'm going to do my journaling. To do my journaling, I want to create a bullet point list. So what I'm going to do is use these enamel dots to create bullet points. And then I'm going to use my pen to write out just a quick note of the various things that happened this month. Right now I'm using a Pilot Kakuno. It is a fountain pen. It is a very affordable fountain pen that I picked up on Amazon. It uses a cartridge, so you don't have to use bottled ink, although I think you can use a converter with it. I haven't tried yet, but I am currently loving this pen. So this is what I'm using, and I'll link it in the description box below if you're interested in picking that one up as well. I'm just using these enamel dots to make those bullet points, and they are curving around the flowers on the left-hand side of the card there just to kind of fit in the space that I have on this card. And it ends up being plenty of space because what I'm doing is just writing very fact-based, simple phrases here. Now, when I'm documenting this, it is 4 years later. I have some memory of what happened this month after looking at the photos and reading my notes. I can kind of remember some of these events, but I don't remember a ton. And some of the things in her life I wasn't actually part of, or I am part of, but not. My memory of what happened won't necessarily be the same as hers. For example, there's a photo of her with her friends getting ready for prom. I took photos of them before they went to prom. I didn't go to prom, so I don't have that memory to document. So for documenting things like that in her album, I try to stay very factual and just include the photos. And if I can, I ask her to add some details. You saw earlier in this video that I did have a separate layout I created about her prom experience. And in that layout, I had asked her for some details. I think I made an awesome and a not awesome list, and I had asked her to fill in those. She wrote out just like a list for me of what to include, and that was really helpful. So I'm moving on to this photo here of her with this snake, and I just wanted to add a little bit more detail of the story. So what I did was I added this one of the die cut pieces and a puffy sticker. And then this die cut has these two little sections on it. So what I'm going to do is use one of the rub-ons and put that on top. I think it says details. And I'm just going to add that in that top box, and it fits perfectly. And the thing about rub-ons, like rub-ons are I feel like they're so underrated because you don't see them from many manufacturers, but you get one every single month in the scrapbook kit from Cocoa Daisy. They are so versatile because when you put this down, it looks like it was professionally printed there. So you can't tell that I added that details and that wasn't part of that die cut originally. So you get like the professional look without having the same thing as everybody else, because you still have the way to personalize it. You also can use rub-ons directly on photos, which is an amazing look. I haven't done it in a couple of months, and I probably will later this month because I just love how that looks. I'm moving on now to this card or this photo of her at a track meet. In May, she wrapped up track season, and I went to a couple of her meets, and I think she had a few meets that I didn't go to. They're super busy, and they have multiple meets per week. It's a lot, and then a lot of it is not that close to home. But I did take this photo of her running, so I wanted to include that and just document the fact that it was in the middle of track season. This photo is us from Mother's Day. I did make a note on that bullet point list that we went out to brunch for Mother's Day, and we went to Tulip Fest, which is a local event that they always have for Mother's Day. And so that's what that photo is of us there. And then I'm just working on slipping everything in the pocket. You saw me adhere those 2 3x4s on the back with some washi tape so they can fit in a 4x6 pocket. And then the last thing I'm doing is this photo of her for her birthday. I wanted to add something on it. I liked that tag die cut, but it was just a little too big. So I'm adding this one across the bottom, and then I'm going to use my stamps again to just stamp 17. This is her 17th birthday, and I don't have to make a note that her birthday's in May. She's going to remember that. I'm going to remember that. But just what age she turned, I think is important to note, because otherwise, looking back, I might need to do some math. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And as always, I hope to see you guys all in the next one. Bye.